All right, welcome back everybody to a Monday morning call review. Today I am blessed with the presence of the agent that I'm going to be reviewing. As I always say, this is something done for you, not to you. This is something everybody should have their mentor do. So if you are not having your mentor listen to your calls, you're making a huge mistake. So um, as always, guys, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Do me a favor, drop a comment, say whatever you want. If you like it, you don't like it. I just want to hear your thoughts on it. So again, my name is Ryan Valet. If you guys are new here, and this is what I do every single Monday, a quick call review to basically help everybody understand what a real call sounds like and give agents feedback on their actual performance. So I am blessed here with Mr. Sebastian. Say hi, Sebastian.
Hey guys, happy and a little bit doubtful about doing this. I think it's gonna be hard to hear, but yeah, I want to get better, so there's no other way, right?
That's the beauty of it. Sometimes it's not the easiest thing to hear, but the things, if it were easy, everybody would do it.
That's right.
So
That's right.
let's go ahead and get this thing started and see how we do here.
Yes, hello.
Vicky, hey, is there something that you're trying to tell me by I don't know?
Huh?
Do you want me to? You're telling me I don't know, and then you're proceeding to hang up. Is there
I don't
something
know
that you're
what you're
asking?
talking about.
Okay,
That's what
okay,
I'm
that's
saying.
a
I don't know what you're
question.
talking
Can
about.
I? Should I answer the question or?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm more than happy to do that. So this is about that request.
So to kind of catch everybody up, at least what I'm picking up on this, the client sounds like maybe she hung up on you and you were being persistent by calling her back 3 times.
Well, she hung up twice. That was
Yeah.
our third interaction. The first one was a quick hang up. The second one, she said, no, I don't know. I think the one that I was asking, I think she said, I don't know, and then hung up. And then on the third time, I that's why I started with what do you mean by I don't know, right?
Beautiful, beautiful. And so that's one of the specific reasons. I don't even think I listened to this full call yet, but as soon as I heard that, that's when this idea came up right away. Was this is a perfect opportunity to kind of go over this call because props right out the gate of going in head first. That's very, very key in this business is to be persistent. Obviously there's always levels, you gotta understand, sometimes you just gotta part ways with people, if they're overly rude, but it doesn't sound like it was anything major. And Sebastian is clearly being very persistent with it, which is exactly what you should be doing. So I definitely want to give you props on that because that is so sometimes people get hung up on and they're like, oh, well, they must not be interested. So they'll mark them as not interested. Or they'll say, oh, well, I'll just call them back, maybe in an hour or so, or maybe tomorrow. And you can do that. But by getting it out front of, hey, look, like in this case, hey, Mrs. Jones, why did you hang up on me? There's many different ways you could go about that. There's sometimes I would say maybe be a little bit more subtle. You can clearly hear she is what I would consider a bit abrasive, and so why not go full force in and meet her? That the tactic here is basically meet her with the level of respect she's giving you, or meet her with the level of tone she's giving you. So props right out the gate, man.
Submitted on Facebook for burial insurance. It's final expense programs. You fill out our
Okay.
form
Yeah,
online
but I've
and you
I've done and
request
got
that.
it though. I've done and
You
got
did.
it.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Were you able to get day one coverage?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
know that. I can do two things, Vicky. I can close your request and just if you're interested, I have all 39 carriers. I can look quote and I can see if we can find you something better.
So two things here when it comes to what she currently has. So the first question that I would have, why didn't you ask her? Why did you ask her in the way that you did? Meaning, here's what we can do. What was going through your head to ask for permission?
At least to me, what always happens, right? Normally, I just get a hang up. I don't get a chance of a rebuttal. So, I mean, there is a lot of things that I would love to tell someone before they hang up when they tell me I'm not interested. But I've learned to know that the longer it is, the more chances that they're just going to hang up the phone. So I've tried to make it shorter and shorter. Now, again, this is just coming from the little things that I know so far. But I wanted to be like, hey, listen, we'll do it your way. You're set, sure, that's awesome. I'm not gonna sell you anything by, and I'm gonna go ahead and close your file. So to try to put her guard down, try and not have her hang up. And then, but what I can do for you, if this is something that you think could help you, I can just check all the 39 carriers we have in the state plus and see if I can get you a better deal. You think that would help? That's my what I've been like kind of like testing, but you can tell me if you think this is good or not.
Yeah. So that's not a bad approach, right? So you've got the right concept in mind, which is to make the client feel like they are making their own decision, right? So the concepts there, what I would recommend as a little bit better approach is, hey, look, Miss Jones, whenever it comes down to it, it's a very good chance that I could save you a little bit of money or maybe even get you more coverage for the same amount of what you're paying. Is that something you'd be interested in? So you ask the majority of people would say, absolutely, that makes complete sense. And then there's some people who are just like, look, I've been shopping. I know I can't do any better, or I just literally don't mess with it. There are things in life for me that I'm like, no, I'm not going to change that. You might be able to save me money, but unless it means I can save so much money to get a new car, it's just not worth all the headache behind it. So by approaching it in the, hey, look, I can save you, I could potentially save you money or get you more coverage. Is that something you'd be interested in? You're doing the same thing as what you asked. So you're asking for permission, but you're stating it in a way that it would be silly for anybody to say no. Okay. Now, the other thing is you asked, does it have a 2-year wait? So what was going through your mind whenever you asked if it had a 2-year wait?
Just the idea that most people don't like it, I guess. And with the amount of carriers that we have, right, it's very easy to find day one coverage. And the small amount of policies I've been able to replace, it's been 100%, like 100 times easier to do it whenever they have a 2-year wait. So I was kind of like hoping in a way, like maybe she'll have a 2-year wait and I'll be able to get her something better for sure. Or if she doesn't, then I mean, I shot myself in the leg there because she didn't. So then it was kind of like harder to get back on my feet.
Yes. And that's a perfect example. You have no idea what's going on with this client's current health. So just like you wind up finding out is she was able to at least qualify for day one coverage. So it's not a, you run that risk of not having that leverage point. So, one of the better ways to approach it is, oh, wow, okay, so you've already got coverage. Essentially, you can encompass this all into one question. So the better question is, okay, so you just filled out this request. Were you looking to save money on what you currently have? So by asking that, or were you looking to get more coverage for what you're currently paying? You see, so by asking that, then because she clearly filled out the form, she clearly is looking into something. So there's something about the ad that triggered her to question what she has. It's either not enough, it's too expensive, or she just wants more coverage and wants to see if she can save money, or get more coverage for the same amount of what she's paying. So the better question, then you don't corner yourself of you're making her feel like she's guiding the boat without her knowing that you're actually in control. So the biggest thing that I always preach is make sure that the client that you're always the authority figure in taking control. Most of the time, this early in the call, I would say you need to be verifying something, but I definitely, again, You're doing right. She is conversating with you. Given the fact that she's already hung up on you twice, you want to kind of keep that the momentum that you currently have going with the conversation.
and I can see if we can find you something better. Do you think that
Well,
would
I've
interest?
had it for 4 years anyhow.
Like you've had them before? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I've had them 4 years.
Okay. Again, if you want to see if you can get something better, because there are a lot of companies out there, I can look that for you in about 2 minutes. If you don't and you're happy with what you have, that's fine. But a lot of clients are
Okay, what I've
actually
got right now. I can't afford to take out any more right now anyhow, so guess
no,
I'll
no,
have to
no.
be
Taking
okay.
any more, definitely not. I was saying if you wanted to save some money, but if that's not something that is really important at the moment, then that's fine. What do you think? Do you want to check it out in about 2 minutes to see if I can get you a better pricing?
Okay, so real quick there, she's starting to calm down. So my reaction here would be more let's keep the temperature, continue to bring the temperature down by saying, so that's no problem, Mrs. Jones. Whenever it comes down to it, all we have to do is go through a few questions just to see if there's any areas where I can save you some money. If I could save you some money, is that something you'd be interested in? I mean, you're clearly on a fixed income. So again, you're asking very silly, not silly, but obvious questions. Get them thinking of, wow, okay, this guy, maybe he does have something better. Maybe he has something save me money
Well,
on.
right.
Um,
Everything with the tonality that you always say, right? Like making it,
yes.
making me want to be curious about what I have.
Yes, and again, what you said isn't necessarily god awful, but it comes off as a bit combative. What you said was, so I mean, if that's something that's not of interest to you, then of course, and that comes off as a bit combative. So that's why I say, kind of bring that temperature down, and again, and the other thing is again that will then sniff out instead of you. So now you've made it sound like you can do it really quick, and we all know it's not like super quick. It's not forever, but you can get something out pretty quick. But when it comes to positioning it in this way, why go any further if her response is going to be no? Even if you could save me money, I've had it for too long and there's no way I'm going to change it. And she's had it for 4 years, mind you. So you could probably save her money. We know how expensive they are. But if that's her attitude and she's had it for 4 years, that's a hard thing to argue with. There's really not much point in moving on with the conversation. We're less than 2 minutes in, and you could literally cut the conversation off now if that's her response, which is perfectly fine. You see what I'm saying? So you're bringing the temperature down. And the more you bring the temperature down, the more you can prove to her or show her that she can trust you and you're here for her benefit.
And that whole that rebuttal, the one that is like the one that you would normally say, assuming that they just sign up, like fill out the form and all. Okay, great. Were you looking for a better price or to add to it? That's just like the go-to if it's assuming it's a fresh lead, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what if
Even
it's
if it's an old lead, even if
okay,
it's an old lead, I would absolutely, that would 100% be my response as if it's
so
a new
like
lead.
just that line, okay, great. We're looking for a better price or to add to it. That's it.
Yep.
It's a rebuttal. All right, cool.
That's exactly it.
No, let's leave it alone right now because I got a headache bad right now. But maybe
Oh,
we
that's
can later
fine.
on.
I can call you tomorrow. I can call you
Well, I
Thursday,
can't tomorrow
Friday.
because I'm have to have my eye took out tomorrow.
You're taking your
Yeah,
eye
I got
out?
to have my. Yeah, they're going to take my eye out. I got
Oh, I'm
hemorrhaging behind it, and they got to take it out tomorrow at Memphis.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank
Are you
you.
gonna be able to keep the other one?
Yeah. Well, we thought I was.
Okay. So I want to point something out. Your tonality right there. Did you hear your tonality behind that? Oh,
I
I'm
mean,
so
that was
sorry.
real. I mean, to me, but maybe. Oh, what are you saying? Did I
It
have
was
a
a
good?
thousand, yes, it was 1,000% real. And
Oh,
that's
okay. Well, yeah, I felt that. Like, I was like, oh my God, going blind. Like, there's nothing more than that to me, right?
yes, yes, exactly. And that's
We
I'm
were
pointing out the tonality because that's how we should be talking to people.
right.
Although you don't want to be, I know you and I have had this conversation. Although you don't want to be over dramatic and oh my gosh, Mrs. Jones, this is terrible. You don't want to act like that. But
I've actually lost the lead because I mean, I remember when I had just started dialing, like, and I actually meant it, but apparently she didn't like it. But I actually felt bad. She told me her daughter died like 3 weeks ago. And I said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like I'm really sorry that that happened to you." And I paused for a little bit. I was like, "Oh shit, that's tough." I was like, I mean, no one should go through that. And then a little bit later, I kind of like, I stayed there for a little. I don't remember exactly how I worded it, but I think I'd either piss her off that I stay there, but I was like feeling bad. I was like, okay, there's gotta be a sweet spot between, you know, being empathetic and just staying in it. And now I've learned like I've learned about it, right? The other day I had a client whose wife died. And I was like, I'm really sorry that that happened to you. And like I lowered my voice. I stayed it for like a few seconds, let him like get back to me. Yeah, yeah. And I was like, how long were you guys married? Kept the conversation going and then moved past and he really appreciated that. But
Mhm.
staying there is what I've learned now that it's not a good thing. Yeah.
Yes, yes, you definitely don't want to dwell on it. And some people are okay with it, but it's definitely again, those are the little things that you learn how to react to certain things. And really it's not going to do either one of you any good for the mission that you're on, which is to see if you can help them get some life insurance. So sitting there dwelling or pausing too long on someone's passing definitely is like, okay, what are we doing here? Or if you just keep talking about it, then you wind up getting somebody who starts crying like crazy to you, and then you can't move on with the conversation to talk about actually getting some coverage. So I definitely again, the it's important to hear the tonality there because that's the way your entire call should be. Again, as you and I have talked, whenever it comes to guys, we've got oftentimes a deep voice, we've got a strong voice, and if we don't use the intonation back and forth to show our emotions over the phone, it's really hard for people to hear it. Whereas if we were in person, people could see, oh wow, that's so terrible. You don't have to be as over dramatic. So I like to say act your face, right? So if it's a surprise, act, if you're just like, oh man, it's so sad, act like what your face would look like. So
Got it.
like I said, very good on the tonality. I will point out that she is having an eye removed, so that's going to kind of take us out of the options. But I did want to bring up one other thing. You asked, well, what about tomorrow? And I've got I think you started to say another date, right?
Yeah.
So
Too
what do
available.
you think you should say there?
Yeah, no, I mean, I mean, not be too available. Like I am the business professional, right? And give her a couple of options, or I'm guessing a sooner date also, like tomorrow between what time, or a couple of options there. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. 1,000. That's exactly right. Instead of giving somebody a general opportunity to just like choose out of nowhere, you want to give them specific times. If you give them the generality, they'll give you a general answer of, well, and they may give you, well, what about 2 o'clock tomorrow? Then they feel like they are in control and they get to pick whatever they want. Whereas if you give them two options, yes, they still feel like they're in control. So you say, well, I've got a 2 or a 4 tomorrow. At that, with stating it that way, you're controlling the times that you're actually available. So it seems like, wow, this guy only has a couple slots available. Then tomorrow, when tomorrow comes, obviously if she wasn't getting an eye removed, um, if when tomorrow comes and 2 o'clock hits, she's not like, oh well, I told him 2 o'clock, but I don't really want to do 2 o'clock. And then she pushes it out to 4, and then 4 o'clock comes around and she wants to push it out till tomorrow, the next day. So it definitely doesn't give you, by just giving days as options, that gives her the opportunity to feel like there's room to budge. So
Got it.
Until today, and then I got to driving, and I was going blind in it too. But if they can fix this eye when they take it out, they're going to put it back in. But if they can't fix it, then they'll leave it out. But if they can't fix it, then I know they can't fix my other one either. I've got macular degeneration, so they say I'm going blind, but this guy seems to think he might be able to fix it.
Oh, Vicky, I
Give it a try.
You're able to, best of wishes to you. And wow. Hey, Vicky, really, I'm gonna pray for you tonight, okay? And
Okay, thank you.
yeah, no, 100%, 100%. And then, well, yeah, I'll follow up with you maybe next week. I don't really want to bother you for that.
Yeah, that'd be good. Maybe middle of next week.
Yeah, I mean, I can follow up this same time, Tuesday next week. How does that sound?
Yeah, Tuesday probably okay.
And after 2 minutes, I'll be able to tell you, hey, Vicky, you're in the best plan, or I'll save you some money. Sounds good?
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Best of luck to you again, all right? We'll
okay,
talk
you
soon.
too. Bye-bye, hon.
Bye-bye now.
Perfect.
When I got to that bye bye hun at the end, I was like, yeah, and you hung up to me twice, so that was a small win for me. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a huge win, man. I mean, even if she doesn't answer, you got answers out of her. And again, that's why I give you props on being persistent, and not letting the the fact that she hung up on you just cause you to give up, right? Um it's proof that no matter what, even if someone hangs up on you 6 times, I've literally had it. I had a situation where a lady hung up on me 5 times in a row. I called her a 6th time and
Back to
wound
back,
up what?
back to back, like she hung
Yeah,
up
oh
you.
yeah, back to back. Yeah, she was literally picking up the phone, hanging up, picking up the phone, hanging up, just constantly. And so I finally, like, I yelled in the phone right as she picked up. I was like, "Hey!" And then she's like, "What do you want?" I said, "Hey, look, you filled out this form. I have to go over this information with you." And I made it, like I'm required. You have to listen to me. And so she said, "What information are you talking about?" I said, "The information on Facebook." And she's like, "Oh, well, we got that taken care of." And my response then was, "Oh, perfect. So which one of our companies did you go with?" And I think it was like a Mutual of Omaha 2-year wait or something. And I said, okay. I said, and I did that. Hey, look, all I want to do is, my job is to see if there's anything, a better option for you. So are you open to that? And I wound up going to their house at that time. They weren't actually far. That was the wildest thing about it. They weren't far from me. So I drove over to their house and wound up selling both her and her husband. And I wound up doing their Medicare. So
Nice,
it's proof persistency is key. So when you think that, well, I don't want to dial people more than once because I don't want to piss them off, or I don't, they hung up on me, so now they're pissed off, so I don't want to make them even more mad. Look, you've got a job to do. This is where, whenever I say you need to have conviction, you got to have conviction. They filled out this form, and they filled out this form because they got a need. Now, maybe you can't facilitate that need. Like in this case, maybe you can't do anything to help her. She can't afford any more coverage, and maybe you can't really save her a whole lot of money to where it makes sense. But she filled it out for a reason. You've got a job to do. So absolute props on staying consistent, and it's not really being pushy. It's being confident in the true need. So um with that said, Sebastian, you got anything Any questions on the call or anything else?
No, I mean, my biggest question was to know um, if that rebuttal that I have written in my script right in front of me, that I almost never do, but I have to start, using more, is the right one. So yeah, I got it right there.
Good.
I'm gonna like, make it a little bit bigger. That way, whenever it comes up, that it's usual. Sometimes they don't pick up in the first call, they pick up 2, 3 days later, and they fill 27,000 forms. So most likely someone is gonna beat me to it. I gotta be able to like have a comeback. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Awesome. Thank
No,
you. Thank you.
that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. You again, good job on staying persistent, and the things that you said weren't just god awful, but just little tweaks, just very little tweaks is what gets you to uh someone not hanging up on you, and instead of her telling you she has a headache right now, maybe she's willing to listen to you, so just little tweaks like that are huge. Again, I really appreciate you being willing to come on and go through this. Not everybody's willing to do it live like this, and it's a great way for you to um learn right in the moment, right? So
Yeah.
again, I really do appreciate you coming on. Sebastian is a phenomenal agent of ours. He is in the process of getting to the point to where he can write lots of business consistently and help lots of people consistently. So again, everybody give him props. Do me a favor, drop a comment below and give Sebastian props for coming on here and doing this and showing his face and being so good looking. So don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also, if you guys are interested in joining the agency, hit us up in an email. It's Ryco, RYCO, have it all at gmail.com right there. And with that said, guys, I really appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you in the next one.